Me church obi bia na mesa ma obi bia akwa aba emfabra enkasa TV nkasa kasa ye boso na adrusu ha se ye the update and trending news nkwa na adrusu me viewers na ayefo Okudzeto abra kwa de se bia ba beto abonto o chese eye the majority leader MPP amanu eko no mo Ghana ha se no chese omo de kwati kwan su e de ye enyoma bi pa chese abutuanfo enya asem buto ye corruption chese ono no waye na aju so be expose omo nyina nti odi nsem bi aba beto abonto abutuanfo a o expose MPP amanu eko the majority members ne ko ba beto so hi Nkasa TV I the update any trending news nkwa na this me viewers na for me so subscribe to my channel ube like na do adwin so a good comment so kama.
It's 150 million. Is that what you said? 158 million in what year?
Last year, the
Labadi Beach Hotel.
Labadi Beach 23, yeah, their financials here. From Labadi Beach Hotel. I have a copy here.
Yeah, you can project it for us to see because in 2023, Labadi Beach in fact made a turnover of 210,871,394 and a net profit after tax of 51 million. So where is the 100?
Oh, so you are talking about net profit. I'm talking about gross profit.
But is that what's the meaning of gross profit? The profitability of an entity is determined as per its net profit. But you put the figure
it's
out
still making profit.
So why did it? No, but nobody has said it's making losses.
Have you read the 19th statement?
Oh, please. I have the profitability of Labadi Beach and all the 6 hotels from 2009 to 2023. And in fact, the only dividends that Labadi Beach has paid to SNET over the 15-year period is 48 million Ghana cedis. 1.5% investment return. Randy, you heard me? 1.5% return on investment for SNET.
Yes,
if you had
so you should sell it.
Oh, I'm coming. You see, Randy, we live in this country, and I'm glad that he says he started his activism in 2008. But interestingly, his activism is selective. Selective amnesia, if I may borrow the words of the revered Kukubako. Because we live in this country. In 2011, SNET sold its majority interest in Trust Bank to EcoBank. At the time, your activism had gone under the water. SNET sold its 90% stake in First Atlantic Merchant Bank, where I was the head of legal at the time, to Kadari Capital, Nigerians, 90%. You were here as a deputy minister of the Republic. At the time, you were not your activism.
Did any government official buy it? I don't get this. I don't get this.
You see,
this is red herring.
It's
paper obfuscation.
It's
mention a government official in the NDC administration or in cabinet who was at the center of those transactions you listed.
See. Because you see, when I came,
you're sending us on a wild goose chase.
I had my constitution in my bag.
Wild goose chase.
But I was traveling out. I was sitting here when you were talking. I was sitting right here. So when I came, I grabbed a copy of your constitution because I've been following the gymnastics that my good friend Samuel Okudzeto has been doing in the media relative to this matter. And he is going to charge pursuant to Article 284 and 287. Oh, please. I've been through a little bit of law school, so you let me make my point. Saying that the Honorable Bernard Champon was or is in a conflict of interest position in this particular transaction. And I asked myself, really, my good friend, does he understand what conflict of interest is? Does he? But I'm sure that after he filed, this is just only speculating, when he filed his processes at ßreak, it became apparent to him that he probably had misfired. And so, rather than wait for the outcome of the ßreak decision, he's gone on the tangent of inciting people, playing his usual political gimmicks, purely for political expediency, nothing more. Because you see, the Constitution is very clear. A public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflict or is likely to conflict with the performance of the functions of his office. What has Honorable Brian Achampong done in a public bid that has made him put himself in a conflict of interest position? In any event, who says the Constitution bars public officials from engaging in public transactions? If it was the case, why would you be seeking to sponsor a law at this time? Who says so? In fact, it is in recognition of the fact that public officers can participate in public transactions, but to ensure that they do not put themselves in an advantage position over everybody else, the reason for this provision in the Constitution. And make a declaration of your interest and recuse yourself from participating in the decision making. What rule has Honorable Brian Achampong breached? What rule? None whatsoever. So, what does my good friend Sami Okudzeto, who all of a sudden, between 2009 when he was in government, or 2009 and 2016, forgot his public activism in 2024. His public activism has all of a sudden come to the fore. Randy, SNIT, as a policy, over the years, just like when they built the slave flats, which originally was intended to be managed by them, they realized that it was not sustainable. They took an investment decision to dispose of all their interest in the slave flats across the country, in every region. Between 2011 and 2013, I was on the board as secretary. We used to come and visit my good friend Kusi Antichi when I was at the bank. As acting company secretary. First Atlantic Merchant Bank was consistent with the directives of the Bank of Ghana, out in the market looking for capitalization to increase its minimum stated capital. SNIT took a decision that, look, they want to rationalize their investments in the banking space. And so they wanted to put First Atlantic and Trust Bank together. These two banks, they had significant shareholding, and sell it off to Ecobank. The then managing director, of course, at the time, TTB had met the minimum capital requirement. First Atlantic hadn't met it. The then managing director, Mr. Arthur Judata, is still there. Asked Jerome Ishem, who was a representative of SNIT on the First Atlantic board, now look, we don't have any objection going into a measured discussion with Ecobank, but let us go in that transaction as equal partners. Immediately we finished the board meeting, Mr. Jerome Ishem went back to SNIT and they bought a check for 48 or so to acquire additional stake in the bank to enable us meet the minimum capital requirements. Coincidentally, at the time, we had engaged EM Capital, headed by Mike Ashaw, to assist us raise the capital. And so Mike had brought these Kadari folks, headed by Ubu Obufa and Balogun and his team, to also come and invest in the bank. So when the shareholders approved the SNIT additional investment as part of the processes for acquiring a significant interest in any bank in Ghana, right?